What is going on, guys? Can you hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Is it nice and clear?
About an IPO, what would the company be valued at an IPO?
Look, I don't know that answer. What I can tell you is we have so much growth in our three core businesses: the commerce business, which is now over a $6 billion business, in the sports betting business, and in the collectibles.
All right, so what we're waiting on, just waiting on a few more people to join, and then we're going to obviously be live streaming CPI. Now, CPI expectations, obviously because we've been coming in, hot almost every single month. Let me show you what the expectations are right now. If we go to investing.com, and we pull this up, you can see here that these CPI expectations are 3.4%. Now, what's interesting, and I've mentioned this before, but if you take a look at the last 8 CPIs, right, you'll see that we've came above. Green means we came in higher than expectations, right? So if you look at the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 CPIs, only one time, which was in November of last year, did we come under expectations. And then in December, we came in as expected. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the last 8 times, we came in above expectations. So, it's clear that the market is ignoring a bad CPI, or I guess it's priced in for the most part, right? So at this point, it's crazy that inflation is trending back up. Like, we went from in February having a forecast of 2.9 to now forecasting again at 3.4. So I don't really have any expectations that CPI will come in under, especially because yesterday PPI came in much higher than expected, right? If you guys were tracking PPI. But PPI came in much higher than expected. So PPI is usually an indicator of CPI. So I'm not really, expecting to see a lower CPI. And I don't even really think that it matters all that much. All that matters is Fed policy and Fed expectations. But currently, the market, after that 5% correction in ES, I think it was 8% correction in the NASDAQ, we are inching back up to the same levels. But basically, if you look at this entire year, the market isn't up a crazy amount for the entire year. We're still in the same range, right? How long till the data is out? 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Nice hat. They made me 250 last night. Oh, dope. What's going on, Rosie, Vincent, Fareed? What's going on, guys? So yeah, I don't really have, any expectations that CPI will come in under. And we've been on a pretty hot streak with regards to the S&P 500 and with regards to the NASDAQ. So, I think that getting back to all-time highs, we're not that far away, right? We're only about like less than 1% away. So, the questions I'm getting of, are we going to go back to all-time highs? I mean, yeah, we're basically right there. It just depends on, what happens in terms of Fed policy. Like I told you, I didn't expect Fed policy to. I didn't expect the Fed to actually cut. I don't think they're going to cut for probably until the end of the year. In terms of stocks that I'm looking at, Tesla's still on the radar for me. What's interesting is obviously the meme stocks are going crazy, and you're seeing, I don't know if you guys have been watching the coverage of this. It's kind of nauseating, honestly, because you're seeing people on CNBC talk about how, this is unethical. This is not really investing. The SEC needs to get involved. But also, I find it very weird that we saw these pops just from retail investing. So what I'm what I'm speculating is that there were still quite a bit of shorts open, right? This to me looks like a short squeeze, because I think that, retail investing in GameStop and AMC, I mean, I think that if you look at the numbers, that has been going on for a while, right? Could you put the volume up? I'm in a noisy area. The hell? You want me to mess it up for everybody else because you decided to watch this in a noisy area? Come on, bro. If everyone else thinks the audio is fine, I'm not going to turn this up and risk clipping the audio because you decided to watch this from your Soul Cycle class. Kenan says, who's the Karen? Joseph says, don't turn it up. I'm in a quiet area. But what I'm saying is I find it very suspicious that this is just retail. I don't think retail really has the power to push price up like this without there being a sort of squeeze effect, which would then, for me, would surmise that there were still a ton of shorts open, right? And this is what is leading to the short squeeze. I don't think it's just retail buying the stock. All right. So we are 20 minutes until CPI. Like I said, the forecast is 3.4%. I don't even, the only, okay, here's what I'll be interested in. The only thing I'll be interested in is coming in significantly under, right? So if we came in at like 3% or 3.1%, or coming in significantly over, right? Like if we came in at 4%, I think that can have ramifications. Otherwise, I really don't think that it's going to affect the market in the midterm. Now, today we might get, a reaction, a strong reaction, especially because PPI was negative yesterday. So we might get a strong reaction. But I don't think it will have lasting effects on the market. Like, I don't think if CPI comes in at 3.5%, that means that all of a sudden the market is going to tank from here just because CPI came in 0.1% higher, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do my pre-market analysis here on ES and NQ. This is something that, oh, you know what? I forgot to announce something. Apex right now is doing a 90% off sale, and I just loaded up and accumulated 20 accounts. So I'm going to start copying across 20 accounts. Let me give you the coupon code for this. 90% off. Okay. Use that link to get 90% off Apex accounts. It'll be like $18 for the 50K accounts. Even the 250K accounts, I think, are like $18 or $19. Why use so many accounts? Because I use a trade copier. So imagine I make $1,000 today. What do you think that is across 20 accounts? Yeah, I use both Top Step. Guys, watch this video here that I did. If you want to learn how to copy, go watch my last video. But watch this video here. That is actually selected in Replicanto in the NinjaTrader platform, right? So I have NQ leader account. It is a full tutorial on how to copy accounts, right? And I show you how to copy Top Step and Apex accounts and be able to trade them at the same exact time. If you don't need to use two prop firms, you could just use Apex, but it allows you to copy over 10, 20 Apex accounts. Can you pass in one trade? Yes. With that coupon code that's right there at the top of the chat in YouTube, you can pass the account in one trade. Yes, but he got to pass the evaluation first. No shit. Of course you have to pass the evaluation first. Why would they just give you an account? Can I use Apex in Austria? Yes. All right. Let's look at the price action real quick. What I'm expecting. So you guys know how this works by now, right? We've been through enough FOMCs and CPIs together, but you have this consolidation. Price is likely going to manipulate one way and then likely will expand in the other direction. So what could happen is price can manipulate down into these imbalances here, right? We're looking at the S&P 500 right now. Into these imbalances here. Do you trade currency? No. Into these, so if price manipulates into this imbalance, then I'll expect a opposite move, right? If at 5:30, if at 8:30, which is in 15 minutes, price manipulates down here, then I'll expect an opposite move. If we manipulate up, then I will have to look at what is up top here that could be a draw on liquidity. And you see that we have this high from April. Was that April's high? Let me see. No, that wasn't April's high. April's high was here. So we have these two highs here that could be potential draw points if we manipulate up, right? We have this high. Obviously, there's this high, but I don't think, like, if we surpass this immediate high here, then I think the draw will actually be the monthly high. So this right here is April's high, last month's high, right? Which would be a significant high. So what I'm looking to see is which way is price going to manipulate. Are we going to come down into this fair value gap, which you can see here on the 1 hour? I wonder if we could see it on the 4 hour. Yeah, it's the same 1 hour and 4 hour fair value gap here. Actually, on the 4 hour, there's a wick there. So let's call it the 1 hour, right? So if we manipulate down into here, then I'm going to expect a counter move. If we manipulate up, then I'll expect a counter move. Can I use Apex in Austria? I think I answered you. Yes. Do you have any bias leading into CPI? I mean, that's a fool's errand, bro. You think I'm gonna sit here and choose a direction like we're playing roulette? That's a fool's errand. Plus, I'm not in a position when the data is released, right? Because a lot of times you'll see this happening on the first initial data drop, meaning whether you're long or short, you're fucked either way, right? So I have zero interest in being caught in that. For me, I don't understand why, like, there are these hilarious, like, some of the funniest videos you've ever seen of people trying to bet on CPI. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Let me see if I can find it. It was posted actually in the Discord. Hold on. Let me see this. Yeah, like this.
एनालिसिस किया था कि भाई 530 को EU और USD डाउन आएगा। अभी आप लोग के सामने एनालिसिस और ट्रेड ऑफ हम लेते हैं।
This guy was trading NFP.
हमने डाउन का ट्रेड प्लेस कर लिया। 4 3 2 1 boom.
He was expecting the price to go down. He was trading in front of a large class, and they were in a huge short, and I guess they got liquidated. And what's funny is if you watch that in the background, one of the students says, should I close the account? I don't speak Urdu, but some people in the Discord speak Urdu. So one of the students said, should I close the account? And then one of the instructors said, have patience. Like, no, don't close it. Have some patience. And the price just kept shooting. Price just kept shooting up. Oh, was it Pashto? Okay. Close enough. It's still in the Discord. But anyway, so for those of you asking me for a bias, no. You think I'm gonna fucking put myself in a position to turn into that guy? Nah, bro. Is there a difference between drawdowns for Trader 8 versus Rhythmic? No, there isn't. But because I use a trade copier, and I go through this in my video, on how to use the trade copier. I use Tradeovate for everything other than Top Step, and Top Step will have to be Rhythmic. There's no other way to connect Top Step and other prop firms unless you choose Tradeovate for all the prop firms and keep your Rhythmic connection, because you can only have one Rhythmic connection. Keep that for Top Step. No. Guys, just go watch that video, okay? It's like it's the most detailed copier video that you'll ever see. I promise you that. Oh my god. Just watch the video. Please. I'm not going to troubleshoot your copier questions here. I'm going to get some coffee real quick. 1 second. What's the benefit between copying or using bigger size orders? I answer that once again in the video. But you won't be able to achieve the leverage that you can with just one big account. Yeah, I read that, Rob, about the coffee prices. I read that. What? There's 800 of you here and not even 100 likes? This is a travesty. This is a joke. This is a joke. Y'all need to push those likes up so that other people find the stream. And if you're just joining, it's 90% off Apex accounts. All right, I'm gonna. Ay, abuela, what did I say? What? I don't know what I said, bro. I just got 50K accounts, bro. Yes, Ali. Thank you so much for reminding me. I will get the coffee. 1 second. I'm gonna get some coffee real quick. 1 second. All right. Back. $16 for two 50K accounts. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Is the forecast 3.4? Yes, the forecast is 3.4, as you see here. We came in at 3.5, and I think, who was this? Was it Sam? No, Rob. He's right. They did remove coffee, funny enough, from the CPI calculations. What do you estimate the CPI to be? Dude, I don't care. I don't, it could be whatever. Like, I have no way of forecasting this properly, right? But as I said before, the last 8 CPIs, only one came below. So I'm going to say that that trend continues, right? And I also said that it doesn't really matter. The market is clearly ignoring a hot CPI because they think that the Fed is going to cut. So it's like this, it's this sort of like unintended effect that the hotter the CPI is, the more, I mean, the hotter the CPI is, it's being ignored by the fact that the market thinks the Fed is going to cut anyway, which is wild. Because there's definitely a dislocation between that and the bond market, right? Like bond yields have been absolutely surging. And the 10-year bond went up to 4.7, and we finally see it come back down to 4.4. So, you know, based on what happens today, if CPI comes in significantly hotter than expected, I think bond yields can go back up again. But with that said, I think that dollar cost averaging from here into bond funds like TLT is viable, right? But yeah. Oil only. Here's the thing. We're looking at April's CPI in May, right? So for April, oil did peak at $87 a barrel. So it'll be very interesting to see. So what's your play if CPI is hotter or cooler? I don't have a play if CPI is hotter or cooler. I don't care what CPI is. Okay. The thing is, like I said earlier, I'm only concerned with the reaction. That's it. I don't care. It can go up on bad CPI. It can go down on good CPI. It's, for me, it doesn't matter. What I care about most is what is the reaction, right? And then from that point, I'll attempt to make a play. All right, I think we have a minute until CPI.
Date, if there is such an animal. But I would say that the asymmetric part of what you're describing is the market's with you, meaning that everything is expected to be cooler. And I'll give you a concrete example. The 9th of April, okay, that's a key day. Why? Because the euros are at the highest level since the 9th of April. The dollar index is at the lowest level since the 9th of April. 2-year note yields close at the lowest yield since the 9th of April. 10-year note yields close at the lowest level since the 9th of April. How is all that connected? The world central banks, especially those of Europe, England, you know, the EU, us, we are all supposedly on the same timeline. They work together, and the market's expecting the euro going up because we're going to change the spread. They are considered more dovish. We are considered more hot when it comes to inflation. They're looking for this number to cool us and bring us to parity. And here we go. Let's start out with Empire, shall we? Empire expected to be down 10 is down 15.6. Down 15.6, the weakest read since January. Now let's go to CPI, shall we? These are the April reads, of course. Headline up 0.3, a little cooler than the rearview mirror, which was up 0.4. I haven't seen revisions. They were late yesterday in coming. If we look at the ex-food and energy, also up 0.3, and last month that was also up 0.4. So that definitely cooling off as expected on that. Now, let's look at the year-over-year numbers, probably the most important. 3.4 is the year-over-year headline, and that is 1/10 cooler than the rearview mirror, equal to expectations, and that is the lowest year-over-year since we're at, well, 3.2 in February. See, last month was the pop. And if we look at CPI, ex-food and energy year-over-year, this is 3.6. That is definitely cooler than the 3.8 we had last time. And the 3.8 last time, and along with the 3.6 this time, is now the lowest level of year-over-year core inflation since April of 21. So these numbers are close to expectations in every way, and actually sequentially a bit better than last month, which spiked. You see yields moving down. Now, we're not done with the data yet. I like to look at the CPI index because I think the CPI index is very important to look at. 313.54 is the non-seasonally adjusted, and guess what? That's a new all-time high. And if we look at the core at 317.62, that's also a new all-time high. So here's what we really see. The politicians are going to say, wow, it's a bit cooler than expected. And in many ways, they're correct. But it's still on the indexes, both seasonally adjusted, non-seasonally adjusted, the highest ever since record keeping, the index that we figure all this on. Now, we're not done now. We have retail sales as well. Retail sales for April. Let's look at the headline number. It's unchanged. Unchanged, that's a bit of a miss. We're expecting a number closer to up 0.5%. Rear view mirror up 0.7. Last month was a very good reading. It now moves to down 0.6, but remember, February was up 1%. So there was a bit of a give back, many people thought. But if you really look at it, this is a disappointment because it loses some of that momentum we were talking about with the consumer. Now, if you strip out autos, the number improves. So you can see autos was a bit of a drag on that, up 0.2 exactly as expected. In the rearview mirror, that very strong 1.1 downgraded to up 0.9. Strip out autos and gas, it deteriorates. So you can see the effect of removing both of those. Now it's down 0.1%. Down 0.1% is the second weakest of the year. The weakest month was January at down 0.8. And finally, the control group is down 0.3. That's inputted into higher up the food chain economic data like GDP. Down 0.3 is the second weakest since January when it was down 0.4. The disappointment, of course, is that we didn't hold some of the momentum. But to be fair, last month's 1.1, still a juicy 1%, downgraded by 0.1. Now, how do we synthesize all of that? Let the markets do it. We see that we're moving down to 4.35 in a 10-year. The low yield is around 4.33. And 4.32, 4.33, big support. When we slipped under that 4.70, this is where most technicians thought we would hold. So pay attention to this level in 10s. Pre-opening equities are loving this number. They're up almost 200 points. And my guess is, Joe, that you're going to pay close attention to that foreign exchange relative value trade there between the euro and the dollar as our inflation cools and the markets, they may be rallying for other reasons in addition. But this is going to go a long way because a Fed easing, well, hey, interest rates cause lots of pain in lots of industries, so there is a plus side to it. The downside is it's probably not going to get at some of the sticky inflation that things like subsidize. Hey, Joe, real quick, do you remember a movie called The Sting?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, there was a great line in there that they cheat better than us when they're playing that card game. See, what's going on with tariffs between us and China is that they're subsidizing better than us. That line works really well. Back to you.
Exactly. And I couldn't help notice gold and Bitcoin, too, immediately. Gold's almost 2,400. Bitcoin immediately up 4%, 3.5%. Rick, stay with us for more on the new inflation data. Let's welcome Tiffany Wilding, economist at PIMCO, Joe Lavorgna, chief economist at SMBC Nikko Securities America, Wendy Edelberg, director of the Hamilton Project, and a senior fellow in economic studies at the Brookings Institution. Our own Steve Leisman. And Steve, you were on the right side of this one in terms of suggesting it could be cool.
51%. That's all I'm looking for in terms of my accuracy, Joe. That's all I got to be. Is one better than a flip of a coin? I will say we got there in a somewhat surprising way. I'm fascinated to hear what Joe and others think about this. Not you, Joe, the other Joe. We got a little help from the new vehicle. No, I do care what you say, Joe. I'm sorry. I sent you the set list, by the way, from yesterday. New vehicles down 0.4%. Used vehicles down even more. We thought we were kind of ending that deflationary impulse, and they were down 1.4%. Owner's equivalent rent still not getting a lot of help from that area that everybody thought was going to come down. That was 0.4, the same as last month. There's still hope that that could come down a bit more. The motor vehicle insurance thing still up strong, 1.8% on the month after, what was it, 2.628 last month. Airline fares came down. Medical care attenuated a bit, 0.4% versus 0.6. I wasn't just on the right side of the trade, Joe. The market was. If you look at the 10-year this morning, it was coming down. So was the 2-year, and it got a little more juice. What does this do? It doesn't guarantee that the Fed is going to cut rates this year or cut once or even twice this year. It does perhaps, though, start the clock again. Remember, we were talking about this being like a wrestler? 1, 2, and then the thing got up again, and you have to start the count all over. We can maybe start the count again with something that gives the Fed perhaps a bit more confidence that things are coming down. 0.3, it's not enough. We got to be printing 0.1s and 0.2s, but we'll take 0.3, better than 0.4. And I'm very interested in this come down in April on the retail sales side. It's what we saw coming from the retail monitor last week. So it gave us a little bit of a heads up here. We'll see if that's a trend. We got the big pop in March, under expectations in April. So we'll have to see what May brings. But it may be that the consumer is easing back a bit. Hopefully that brings us a little bit of help on the inflation front. Joe?
Thanks, Steve. Tiffany, you just look at the reaction in across the board in all the markets. And do you think that this is definitive, that streak of hotter numbers that had everyone worried, is it starting to reverse? Are we going to be back in believing in a downward trajectory in inflation again? Because we got thrown for a loop since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, well, I certainly think that prints will be cooler than what they were in the first quarter of the year. But nevertheless, that might not mean that they are in line with the Fed's target. A 0.3 on the month over month, yes, it's down from last month. But it suggests an underlying pace of inflation, that's not at 2%. And when we look at the details, I think the core services ex shelter categories, I know you mentioned OER was still a little strong as well, but those categories have really been the ones that have been surprisingly strong lately.
So inflation came in 3.4 as expected, a little cooler month over month. We got an initial pop, right? And then, like I said, I do expect to see a counter reaction here. Now, what happens after market open really depends on the extent of this counter reaction. But this is why I was saying, this is essentially a power of 3 here, where you have consolidation and then you have manipulation, right? And where did we manipulate into? That high from April that I was talking about, right? You can see it here. And we took out that high, and we do have this 1 hour fair value gap here. So I'm expecting both ES and NQ to eventually fall into that fair value gap. And, at that point, I think we could see then another bounce. But I think this manipulation leg here will be resolved by a move down, the move that we're seeing right now, as a matter of fact. Thanks for covering this. Yeah, appreciate you, Russ. Thank you. Can I trade pre-market in Top Step? Yes. No surprise here. Removed things to make it look good. Yeah, I mean, it came in as expected. Fudge numbers, but we'll take it. Moon, yeah, but like I said, the moon will last until a major liquidity level, and then we will likely get a counter reaction. Rewind the tape, you'll see what I said. $900 a year. What are we talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Why I can't see the futures data? What on TradingView? You don't need to pay for futures data on Top Step or Apex. But on if you want to see it in TradingView, it's $5 a month. The Russell is having the biggest pop of all the indices. It's up 1.4%. Tesla's up to 182 pre-market. Like I said, I think that what you're seeing in Tesla is a classic case of heavy volume on the way up. And then on the retracement, you see this trailed off volume, right? So I expect Tesla to potentially for the rest of May, maybe June, have a pop back to that 200-ish level. I did buy calls, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and they were a bit early. Those calls are still down. Tesla ended up I was a bit early on those calls, so Tesla ended up making the move before. I did end up buying Tesla at like 146, I think was my purchase. So the stock is up quite a bit, and those calls are down. I might end up, I don't know. I might end up buying maybe a new set of calls on Tesla. Really depends. I'm undecided on that just yet. The 185 calls. Yeah, if Tesla makes another move today and tomorrow, I think that those calls can be up for sure. What is the lowest limit of VIX that can go? What do you mean? The lowest that anything can go is 0. Charles says inflation almost 2 times the Fed's goal, and we're celebrating. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just indicative, Charles, that there's still a ton of liquidity in the markets, right? Like, if we take a look at the Fed's balance sheet, you can see here that, you know, what we printed during COVID is still not out of the system. So, you know, and they're already talking about slowing the pace of quantitative tightening. And I made a video about the Treasury potentially stepping in and buying treasuries. So, you know, we still have a ton of liquidity, unfortunately, in the market. And I don't think that they're going to erase what they did during the pandemic, which is print, you know, $4.5 trillion. They did, to their credit, run off about $1.5 trillion, but we're still very far away. And they are already talking about slowing this down. But it's indicative that there's clearly still a ton of liquidity in the markets. Just had a big trade, 1,400 in green. Did you short? I just joined the mastermind. Hell yeah. Welcome to the club. Those Tesla calls might print. Tesla will need to make another big move, but I think Tesla will benefit from the meme stocks rallying because of all the the big market caps. Tesla is the meme stock of the big market caps. But I do expect it to bounce from here. WSB are looking at it a lot. Are looking at what? Tesla or what? I took profits on the Tesla call a day or two after the alert. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's important to note those calls were up 50%. So I forgot to say that part. Those calls were up 50%, and I ended up holding them. Some people took profits like Roger, but I ended up holding them. So in full disclosure, they were up 50%. I was expecting more of a rally off of this bounce here. And we got a low volume decline to fill that gap. So those calls could still be up or at least break even. But yeah, in full disclosure, I ended up holding. I hope so, because I'm still stuck in some Tesla positions at 215. Why don't you sell calls against your shares? Do you buy calls at the price you think it's going to reach? No, not necessarily. That's not how options work. And it depends on your expiration date. Appreciate you. Thank you, Sam the man. Thank you so much, man. What's your plan for VIX now? Jesus Christ. As if VIX is like the only stock on planet Earth. Nothing. The VIX is just a hedge, right? And once you get to this level, you either hedge or you don't. That's it. You either build a position in the VIX and wait for the next pop to 15, 16, or you don't. I can't sell calls against my shares. Have less than 100 shares. Yeah, you need 100 shares in order to sell calls. All right, I want to take a look at the indices real quick. I want to see how far down we're going to retrace off of this fair value gap here. What is ES doing? Let's see. We are retesting that level that NQ broke, which was the high from April 11th. We are retesting that level into that 1 minute fair value gap. I might scalp this here. I might scalp this. if we can dodge this fair value gap and get to 50% of the 15-minute, or not 15 minutes, sorry, the 5-minute. All I need is let's see, how much time do we have until market open? We got 35 minutes. So I'm already scalping this. I have, it's like $115 across 20 accounts, right? For those of you asking me why I copy accounts, that's why. If we can evade this fair value gap and get down to this 50% level, this fair value gap, before market open, that'll be sweet. I think VWAP would be a little too much to ask, but I would go for that as well. I'm trying to see if there's any bearish divergence between ES and NQ. Because so far it hasn't dodged these bearish imbalances, right? Like you have this, I mean, these bullish imbalances, right? You have this bullish fair value gap here. So price can easily go back up and retest another high before market open. But if we can dodge this, then I think we will get to at least the 50% mark of this gap here, which for ES would be right around VWAP. For NQ would also be right around VWAP. So we could actually get to VWAP. We just have to dodge this 5-minute fair value gap. All right, already up to almost 200 across 20 accounts. That's $4,000. Now, admittedly, some of these accounts are PAs and some of them are fresh evaluations that I bought yesterday. So it's not all, it's not, in full disclosure, it's not all real money. The PAs are the real money. The evaluations are, I have to pass those in order to get funded. So I just want you guys to know that so you don't think that I'm banking on accounts that are not yet funded. I have six funded accounts. Yeah, we need to dodge this, or price is gonna go. We need to dodge this imbalance here, or price is gonna go for more for higher highs. This candle closes in 30 seconds here. I'm gonna set my stop to break even. Because I think if this candle closes 8 seconds, we could pop to go for more highs above. We need to fail this in order to get lower. Ooh, push. Let's go. 350 across 20 accounts. Let's go. Oh, man. Yeah, I think we can go lower here. I want to see it drop to 18,460. ES looks weaker than NQ for sure. I want to see VWAP before market open. I might take profits. I might take profits here at 300 per account. I just need one of these to fail here, ES or NQ, and drag the other with it. But still up 315 across 20 accounts. One trade is all you need, guys. Do you use Bookmap? No. Let's go. Come on, bro. Just fail. Okay, we took out the equal highs inside the 1 minute fair value gap. If this doesn't reverse here, then I'll close my position. I have a feeling ES can test this as an inverted gap, and then we'll get a violent drop. Nvidia pushing up, closed at 505. Nice. Got in at 772. 772. On what? Last large earnings, Nvidia on 522. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna look for the next trade on the indices. It looks like May 22nd. Yes. Nvidia bought shares at 772. Oh, nice. I was short. Yes. But right now, we are bouncing off of this 5-minute gap, this 5-minute bullish gap here. TQQQ? Question mark. I don't know what that means. Time to play the bonds. As terms of trades, in terms of trades, not for me just yet. In terms of bonds, in terms of actual buying, yeah, I said at the beginning of the stream that it's time to dollar cost average in the bond funds, but I don't know about trades just yet. Pro shares ultra pro QQQ. Yes, I know what TQQQ is, but just saying TQQQ and question mark, I have no idea what you're trying to insinuate. You're selling shares before earnings that they'll smash again? Me? I'm not selling Nvidia shares. I don't have Nvidia shares to sell at this level. No, I'm not in a trade right now. I'm looking for a next trade. Romise. Funny. If you buy 10% dips, when do you usually take profit? That's an arbitrary question, man. Depends on what the shares are. Looking like a 20-year-old today? Well, I'm 43, so I'll take the compliment. Damn, man, you old. Yeah, bro. Not old enough for your mom, though. She says she likes him even older. Can you remind logic for closing the NQ trade? Just booking profits. I still don't think that the down move is exhausted yet. I think once the market opens in 14 minutes, you're going to get a strong reaction. But for ES, what I was saying was it could test this gap as an inverted gap and then flush, which is what you're seeing now. You could tell you're old because of the yo mama jokes. I could tell you're a dummy because you don't know the difference between your and your. That's like something you learn in the fucking 4th grade and you still can't get it right. They shouldn't give you a keyboard. I don't know who let you on the computer, bro. Abraham, what's going on? Joseph. Joseph says you are mama. Ay, ay, ay. Just scalped NQ looking for another trade, but here's what I'm thinking. So far, I don't think that this down move has fully happened yet. I think that we are going to resolve this imbalance down here. I don't have a really a general direction for the market throughout the rest of the day. I'm going to be playing like I played the initial reaction on CPI. I think you'll get another reaction, market open in 12 minutes, and then that will set up some plays. The rewind the tape comment you made a while ago was a tell that you were in your 40s. Bro, I don't know why being in your 40s is a bad thing. Like the fact that you needed my comments to know that I was in my 40s lets me know that I'm doing something right. Look, as a man, you're the strongest in your 40s. You should also be the richest that you've ever been in your 40s. So you're not the strongest. That's why MMA fighters are losing at that age. Once again, another dummy in Craig Taylor. Doesn't know the difference between your and your. And yes, you are definitely, I mean, if you stay in shape and you eat the right amounts of protein, you are stronger. You peak strength in your 40s, but not athletic ability. So for sure, you do lose in recovery. You do lose a bit in speed. You do lose a bit in agility. But in terms of sheer strength, yeah, I mean, look at all the strong men competitions competing in their 40s. And anyway, bro, like if you keep up your health regimen in your 40s, you'll be in better shape than most 30 and 20-year-olds that are fucking sitting on the couch eating potato chips, bro. Will market go down even a little bit? Okay. QQQ was down, I believe, 8%. Not good enough for you? Yeah, QQQ was down 7.5%. I know, Alec. I know. I know what you mean, bro. What is CPI data? Google it, bro. Google it. Everyone asking what is CPI data can easily just Google it and read it if they want to. We already covered it here. Why would you put other people through that? Just because you decided to show up late. Oh, Craig Taylor is the keyboard warrior of all keyboard warriors. What I'm looking at now is the market opens in 8 minutes, and I think we were going to get a big move at market open. I had scalped short. Excuse me. I scalped short. I don't think that is the extent of the down move. I think we could dig into this 15-minute fair value gap to at least half of it, which is right around VWAP. Eventually, I think we resolve this 1 hour imbalance here, down here. Eventually. What is your level of thinking about purchasing QQQ again? It was just down 8%, dude. If you don't have QQQ, buy it. Like, there's nothing wrong with a 5% or 10% pullback. What is going on? All right. You showed it too, Mount Journey? Nice. Yeah, so what's happening with RTY is what I expect from NQ and ES. ES is weaker than NQ, by the way. But RTY is Serrano, thank you so much, man, for donating $20 to St. Jude's. Appreciate you. Do we have any other news today? There's a Fed member speaking later, but whatever. That's at 3:20. Tomorrow's unemployment claims. NVIDIA earnings are the 22nd. I think market opens in 5 minutes. I think we might get a big move there in a second. Right at market open. Even though there is bullish divergence forming between NQ and ES, NQ is making a higher low and ES is making a lower low. I would much rather see them fulfill their imbalances down here, but we could go up for more liquidity up top. Right now, I think this is just a scalping range. Until we get a major balance resolved. One second, I'll be right back. Don't leave. Market opens in 3 minutes, so I want to make it in time. 1 second. All right. Just passed my first top step evaluation. Hell yeah. Good job, Tor. Yo, my mic is tripping. All right, let's see what this bullish divergence does here. Do we go up, take a little more liquidity, and come back down? Taking out stops in both ways. Took out buy stops, took out sell stops. See that bullish divergence taking shape with NQ making higher lows, ES making lower lows. So if you guys remember from the beginning of the stream, we had this high up here on ES. This high is the monthly high of April at 5333.5. So I'm keeping that on my radar. If price impulsively starts going up, that to me for sure is the draw on liquidity, right? But I'm not convinced of that yet. I still think that at some point today we fill this imbalance down here. I don't see an impetus for a trade yet. Robinhood halted GME and AMC calls. I think it'll come back up. I bought SQQQ yesterday before CPI release. Should I keep it or close my position? What was your goal, dude? It's crazy that people get in positions and they have no idea what their plan was. You should have an exact plan, dude. So if you got an SQQQ, if price did this, I'm going to do that. If price did this, I'm going to do that. So learn to manage your position. And that's the only way that you're going to minimize mistakes in the future. If price goes down, I'm going to sell. If price goes up, I'm going to buy. What does that mean? June How? Not sure what you mean, bro. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that is funny. I might take a crack. I'm front running this short a bit. Definitely not A plus, but I wonder if retesting this interim high that we put in before market open is a turtle soup kind of play here. So up 130 on this short already. NQ, it looks a little weaker than ES. But this is definitely a front run. You know, and essentially what we should be doing is waiting for confirmation, right? We don't have confirmation yet regarding structure here because we've just been trading sideways since 8:45. So again, this is a front run, and if I get stopped out, that will be my only front run for the day, and then I will only stick to A plus trades. But let's see how this turns out. Oh, shit. You're right about Tesla. I wonder if some news came out. I might flatten this at break even here. Yeah, I think that was a good call. We got down to break even, but we are now retesting this inverted gap as bullish. So I had to get out at break even. Even if we decline from here, this is a bullish inverted gap and we don't have confirmation. So getting out of break even to me is a good call, and then looking for confirmation. I'm down 600 on MPW. Going to be a great bounce trade for you. I don't know what that is. We're just bouncing around in this range. Nothing definitive yet, but we'll find it. Definitely. Oh man, I should have stayed in that trade. Definitely there's bearish divergence between NQ and ES here. ES making a higher high, NQ made a lower high. Oh, we do have an RTH gap down there. Right where that imbalance is. Things just got interesting. But guess what? We blew all these equal highs down here. I mean, equal lows. So we go up and grab more liquidity. I might try another crack here. Fuck, but now we have bullish divergence. It just keeps switching. Lower low, higher low on ES. Good for scalps. Yeah, I agree, Kathy. But I think there will be an eventual flush down to this level down here. I'm just trying to catch the confirmation. Yeah, dollar's rallying like crazy right now. It found support below Friday's low, or took liquidity below Friday's low. And that's why gold absolutely tanked. Mm. Yep, 50% of this imbalance at VWAP. Booked 360 on an MNQ. Hell yeah, good job. Well, like I said, I think that 50% of this at least will get filled. And my thesis was that we would, like I told you, if you go back to the beginning, that we would consolidate, manipulate, and then I'd look for a counter move later. I still think that it's possible to get down here. But let's see what happens here. I was trying to catch a move. The funny thing is I was short and I took a break even. Decided to close it because of consolidation. Yeah, Dan, we have a ton of full-time traders. I mean, yeah, we have a ton of, sorry, traders who work full-time. Rejection rally continues. Not sure what you mean. You mean it will continue down or up in your opinion? If ICT works, why doesn't it get arbitraged out? That makes no sense, bro. That makes literally zero sense, what you're asking. I would not long gold here. You're crazy. Wait, wait. Just, wait for it to take liquidity at least below a certain level. Do you view liquidity where there are a bunch of previous candles or wicks? Mm, not really. No. What time is CPI? Go back to sleep. Because there's still too little good ICT traders to make money. Yeah, there's no arbitraging of strategies, dude, because you're assuming that traders will be good enough in unison, and traders suck ass. So, regardless of whether you're using ICT or whatever, supply and demand or moving averages, traders suck at risk management, right? That's why, regardless of what strategies are in place, traders will always lose. It's not because the strategy sucks, it's because the risk management sucks, right? Um, so, regardless of what strategies people use, they're most traders are always going to lose. That's just how the game goes. I wonder if we continue down to the RTH gap here. Jesse Livermore wrote about it 100 years ago. Yeah, I mean, there's so many strategies that work, right? It's like, it's not the strategy; it's the way that people trade. I wonder if we get a continuation short down to the RTH gap. Um, the thing is, we mitigated 50% of the 15-minute gap already. So, this is not an A plus trade here, but I'm betting on the continuation to the RTH gap. Right? This could be the conclusion, by the way, of the liquidity down here, because we did cross 50% of the 15-minute fair value gap like I was targeting earlier. But we also have an RTH gap down here. Same as ES. So there is the same short opportunity on ES from this 5-minute gap. Yeah, RTY is going for that same RTH gap too. Man, I wonder if there was news on Tesla. Why do you keep talking about MPW? What is MPW? A penny stock? Are you trying to pump a penny stock on my channel? You own it? No, I don't own it, dude. Nothing in news on Tesla today? Yeah, I don't think there's any news on Tesla. Yeah, I think with if you look at GME, GameStop, etc., didn't they halt buying of options? But I don't see that on Tesla news though. I don't know, Roman, why you are trolling me, but that's awesome. Yeah, 50% of the RTH gap was almost exactly at 50% of the fair value gap. Um So I'm break even on the day from the short in the morning on NQ, and then I took a stab at a short just now, a high risk to reward short that was a bit lower on the probability scale because of the 50% mark on the 15-minute fair value gap in RTH. So I'm almost dead break even on the day. What is up with Neo? What do you mean? What is up with Neo? It's being the same old self. But didn't I think Biden announced yesterday that they're putting 100% tariffs on Chinese EVs? Looking at the next level on any index trades here. I wouldn't sell Tesla puts just yet. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I guess depends on the strike. It's crazy. Bitcoin is mooning here. RTY closed gap on the 15-minute. It has a little bit left for the RTH gap, but it's a suboptimal short from here. Yeah, I think the miners are a good buy for the long term. This is interesting here. Ooh, gold might be setting up for a long. Let's see. I think gold might be setting up for a long here. Daily VI. Yeah, if the dollar continues its free fall here, I think gold sets up for a long. It's a delicate game here. Fabrizio, thank you so much, man. £5 donation to St. Jude's. Thank you. – 90%? No, they don't do that often, honestly. Nice. We need the dollar to keep dropping here. I wonder what happens at this juncture. Big push, currently up 150 across 20 accounts. I might take profits here and just turn this into a scalp. We do have this 5-minute gap here, but this might go. Oh my God, what a push. Hell yeah. Back out of the break-even hole. 250 across 20 accounts. Let's go. All right, I'm taking profits there for now. So $250 per contract. Joshua, appreciate your $20 donation, St. Jude's. Thank you. Lynn, hell yeah. Double A. Good job. See you, Rosie. Book 320 says halal trades. All right. All right. Have a good day, Rosie. So back out of the break-even hole. I had an NQ short, successful. NQ short, unsuccessful. GC long, successful. Good job, double A. All right. So what is the latest with GameStop and AMC? Did they, Lynn, hell yeah, good job. Did they actually stop options trades on Robinhood? I'm not on Robinhood, so I can't tell. Did they actually stop? Lisa says on Mumu, GME is currently halted. Are you serious, Lisa? Wait, is it halted down? Oh, what I'm trying to get at, Lisa, is actually, let me check on Thinkorswim. Like if I wanted to buy a call on AMC right now, and let me just buy one for shits and giggles. I mean, it looks like it's moving. It might just have started again, but oh, I just bought a call on AMC. I just bought a $5 call on the AMC. Okay, so it looks like you can trade it. But some people were saying that they disallowed the purchasing of calls on GME and AMC. Lisa says AMC is back, GME is not. That GC was exactly like in your mastermind? Hell yeah. Yes, it was. Guys, Apex is offering 90% off accounts right now. So if you want to copy trades across 5, 10, 20 accounts, make sure you stock up. It's 90% off. They don't do that often. Sometimes they will do 80% off, but 90% off is just crazy. And I have a tutorial on YouTube. If you just search for the Traveling Trader Copier about how to copy trades. Thanks for the GC scalp. Sure thing, man. Yeah, I'm glad I took profits here. I do think it can run more. I agree. I would only stick to 50K accounts. And now I bought an AMC call, so we need to see AMC rally. I just bought one call. Just to test if it was working. Yeah, but Ryan, hopefully you pass your evaluation in less than a month. You should be able to. What's your thoughts on term limits for senators? Ask me what are my thoughts on senators. The whole thing is a scam. Not just the term limit. That call should hit by Friday. We'll see. I have one call. We'll see. We're still in this like kind of ugly chop. We successfully traded this in the morning, and then I took a higher risk but higher reward short after the filling of 50% of this gap. Ended up getting stopped out on that, and then took a gold long, which is killing it. And now Dixie continues to drop, so gold is rallying like crazy. Yeah, I think 250Ks instead of 200Ks. Yes. Oh man, I want to re-enter gold here. That gold trade is up $1,000 per contract in 15 minutes. That's crazy. Ooh, oil looks interesting. I want to short oil so bad, but we did take liquidity. But we do have equal lows down here. Like I want to short it so bad off this. To these equal lows down here. But we took liquidity below London low. The only thing is we left equal lows. So I wonder if those get smoked. Hold on a second, Lynn. I'm not like I didn't get the proper entry, so I really wanted to enter at 77.60, but I already took one risky trade. And even though I'm up on the day net because I had 1 win, 1 loss, and then 1 win, I don't know if I can take another risky trade. But this would be it. A short to those equal lows. It's not an A plus trade because you know why? We took liquidity already down here, but we did leave equal lows. So that is kind of a clue that we go back down and mitigate them. But it's not an A plus trade. If you have room in your risk tolerance for it, it is a 4-to-1 trade, almost 5-to-1. So take it if you wish. The stop is only $190 per contract, so not bad. And I think it is possible, but the liquidity story, that's a tough one. Maybe I'll just monitor it for now. Yeah, I'm just going to monitor it for now. ES just took out relative equal highs. Let's see. Ooh, nice. Yeah, I think ES goes for this, guys. That level I drew out this morning, which was, let's see again. The monthly high was here. 53.30.50. S&P to 6K before any major correction. Possible. I don't know what you define as a major correction. Like S&P to 6,000 before we get at least a 10% correction. I don't know about that. But if you're talking about before like a 20% correction, yeah. Or which would be a bear market. Yeah, I can see that. April BSL 5308 is just the daily BSL, but there's the April monthly BSL, which is at 5330. And if we don't drop right here after taking out these equal highs, if we don't drop below this level and retest it to then go down, then I think that 5330 is the next test. Very interesting what CL does here. If you guys are in this, you're up already like 200 per contract. If you took this. Who's in CL? Oh, John Thompson is. Yeah, you're up like 200 per contract, John, if you're in it. Same as Lynn. Abir. Oh, Alec is in too. Wow. A lot of you guys are in. Wow, you guys have some high risk tolerance. But I mean it will pay off heavy if it gets down to these equal lows. You're talking about $900 per contract. I took it. Hope this works for me. Bro, this is not a game of hope, bro. If you're in the game of hope, sign out of your account. Just buy the S&P 500 and buy the NASDAQ and sign out. Yeah, for me, I couldn't take another risky trade. Because I took one earlier, right? So I have my own personal rules. That's one of them. Yeah, if ES doesn't fall below this 5303 level, and we still have an hour and a half until lunch. But if ES doesn't fall below it, then I think we're going to 5330. Let's see what happens here. Wow, GC is pushing. Good job if you took the CL short. You should be up like 220 per contract. Henry says I'm long CL. All right. I think CL goes for London high. Certainly could. Certainly could. Like in terms of CL, for me, the only issue against the long is these equal lows here. That's it. Other than that, I agree with you. I think in general, it's a textbook long. But if you look at, say, like the 15-minute, right, it's still in bearish market structure, 15-minute gap, and you have equal lows here. So that is the only reason that I'm not confident in a straight up long for CL. Otherwise, I agree with you. It is set up for a long. After taking out London low, it's definitely set up for a long if those equal lows weren't there. So yes, I agree with you. Is there another short on RTY? There might be another short on RTY here. No. If we fall below this level on ES and then retest it with an inverted gap, hopefully with the inverted gap plus bearish breaker plus fair value gap, that would set up for an A+ short. So I'm definitely going to scope for that one for sure. But CL took a lot of sell side liquidity. I know, dude. I know. I agree with you. I'm just saying that a lot of times you can see this go back to reclaim these equal lows at sell side liquidity before a move up. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's not an A+ trade. How much does CL move? $10 per 0.01. So $1,000 per full point. All right, guys. What does equal lows mean? Exactly what it sounds like. A low and then another low that's equal. Like this. All right, guys. I'm going to take this to the Discord and trade there the rest of the day. So if you guys are in the Discord, I will definitely see you guys there. CPI came in line, apparently 3.4% versus 3.4% expected. Had a nice short on NQ, and then my stop hit on the second short on NQ, and then had a nice long on gold. So net up for the day. But definitely think that there's going to be an A+ trade depending on what happens at this level here. So we'll definitely be trading with the crew in the Discord. If you want to join, use the link in the description below. Use that coupon code. Remember, there's 90% off Apex accounts as well. If you want to trade, 5, 10, 20 accounts at the same time, like you see me do, 90% off using the link that is in the top of the chat. So make sure you check that out. For those of you in the Discord, I'll see you in just a few minutes. If you're not in the Discord, then I'll see you if you join. And if you don't join, then I'll see you on the next YouTube live. But I appreciate you guys for joining. Thank you so much. Wait, AMC's at the bottom? What is my call doing? Oh, let's go. Up 34% on the AMC call that I bought. Let's go. Yeah, I'm going to hold that until Friday. But I'll see you guys in the Discord. All right, peace.